All right, well, welcome to another pole barn build here at Agape Farm. We put this one up last summer. That video is up. It's got quite a few views. That's a 40. What is that sucker? That's 40 by 68. So that was kind of a big building. That's equipment storage, mostly just tractors and different machinery and stuff. So it keeps it out of the weather. And now what we want to do is 60 feet away from that one and behind it, place a 40 by 24 building, 10-foot walls, and that's going to be a shop. So that one we're going to try and seal up really good, insulate, put a heater in, and have table saws and woodworking machinery in there, and storage for lumber and things like that, and all of our tools. I'm leaving 60 feet between the two to be a parking area, and the reason I've placed everything where I've placed it is my parents' house. It's actually behind that trailer way back there, the gray house. From there, their view is of this barn, and behind that barn, where there's going to be trailers parked and backhoes parked and machinery and everything else in this area, they won't be able to see any of it, and they won't be able to see this building behind it. So it's kind of a nice layout. It's worked out pretty well. I cleared this area end of the summer of all the trees and things that were here, but it is very low. So I did backfill it with a lot of boulders, and you can see some of the leftover stuff I pushed off the side here. And I brought in, let's see, we've got 50 tons already down, and I probably just put another 25 down. So I'm at the point where now I'm finished grading this to get it to the proper height, and I can kind of show you how I do that. I wanted to keep these two buildings at the same height. I did put that one rather high as well from the surrounding land. And I'll put this one high, and then that way I can grade to the center of this 60-foot area and run it out that direction into the field for any rainwater runoff. But to lay this out, I went over there, I measured that barn 68 across, I found the middle, and then I struck a line out to find the middle of this area that we're working on. I then struck a line off the end of the barn here. That's actually that line right down there. That gives me the edge of that barn. I did the same thing on the opposite side, on the left side over there. And then I just took my measurements. I took 14 feet from that line to my first corner. Did the same thing on the other side, and 60 feet away from that barn. And that's it. From there you can lay out your corners, just by doing some math and get everything square. So now we're at the point where we're setting the elevation. And you'll see some markings on the ground. This is just how I do it. I'm sure other people do it many different ways. I don't like having stakes all through the area that I'm going to level. They're just, you got to work around them, they're a pain. So I usually put the four corners in with stakes, and then I go back and with a shovel either dig down or put a little gravel on the ground until I get my elevation just right, and then I put a circle on it. And so you'll see there's circles throughout this area. This one I had to build up, you can see. Just built it up with some gravel, put a circle on it. There's one over here, all around the area. Those give me marks as I'm operating the machine to know when to level out. And cool, cowboy shadow. Sorry, distracted. These give me a little marker, a little visual to know when I'm level. So I'm gonna take the skid steer now, take that pile of gravel there, and fill in between all these circles, level it all out. Once I know I'm pretty close, then I'll probably bring the York rake back in here just to smooth things out, and finally the roller, and we'll be ready to have the gentleman come on Tuesday the 15th to begin drilling all the holes for the posts. And they're actually going to get their inspection that day as well, and then 2 days later they will, the next day they'll arrive and begin building this barn. So we'll walk you through that whole process coming up. I did forget to mention we are using our trusty Bosch laser level here. My grading stick is out there somewhere. I dropped it on the ground, and that has the receiving end, and that way you just walk around with that grading stick on the ground and find out if you're level or not. So it's a great tool to have, kind of a must-have if you ask me. If you're going to do any kind of grading to send water, a different place, or build buildings, anything like that around the farm, pick one of these up. It's priceless. there you have it, all leveled out. Probably took a little more gravel than I had planned on. Maybe there might be 20 ton left there, but looks like it's good and level. So I might not even rake this. I think I could just come up here with the roller, pack it down, and it'll be all right. So do that next. Alright, so that's the whole job done as far as laying out and prepping the site. We've got our gravel all leveled out. We got it at the proper height. It's going to be 4-inch below the concrete. So that's what this is set to right now. I put a spike in the center here with a mark, and that way they know that black line will be the finished height of the floor, and that'll help them to set their skirt board around the outside and their doors and all that other stuff. So it's all packed down good. I did use a lot of gravel. That's all that's left. So out front I ended up sloping this all down real gentle. I got stuck over there. You can see that spot. The roller sunk down into the wet gravel, but just kind of tapered this down. Probably put a little more gravel in here over the summer to make sure I have proper drainage, that it rolls out the end over here. But that's it for prepping the site. We used about 50, well, no, that's right, I used 50 tons earlier too, so probably about 80 tons of gravel total to lift this up about a 1.5 feet or so, something like that. And we used our skid steer to spread it all, the laser to get it the right height, and finally the roller to compact it all down. I should also point, if you are going to try to raise the elevation of something this high, you should do it in lifts. So put down 6 inches or so, depending on what kind of roller or compactor you have, and pack it, and then put another layer, pack it, so on and so forth until you reach your finished height. Especially if you're using a plate compactor, you're never going to compact more than a few inches with a plate compactor. So I have a 2-ton roller, so it'll compact a good 6 to 8 inches, maybe even more. I'd say 6 to 8 is about all you want to do. So we will we'll continue another video once the people arrive with the pole barn on Tuesday. But for now, it's the finished floor.